Welcome to the Maths Made Easy tutorial on estimating the mean. So this topic is an extension on the grouped frequency tables topic. So if you've not seen the video on that, then it might be really useful to you. But otherwise, let's look at this example. So Cindy asked a collection of people how many hours they spent playing video games in the last week. Her results are shown in the table, which is on the right. Estimate the mean number of hours spent playing video games from Cindy's sample. Now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of new columns to this table. So let's just do that now. So we're going to give these new columns the headings M. So M stands for midpoint, and we're going to give the second column a heading of M times F. So that's the midpoint times the frequency. So let's go through and fill out the midpoint column first. So the midpoint is the midpoint of the class interval for each row. So the first midpoint is 2, as that's halfway between 0 and 4. And if we go through and fill out the rest, we get 6, 10, 14 and 18. Then for our midpoint times frequency column, all we do is we multiply the midpoint by the frequency. So the first one is 2 times 12, which is 24. And then the next one is 108, and so on. And let's just fill out the rest. So we get 190, 84 and 36. Now we're trying to estimate the mean here, and the mean is the sum of the items divided by the number of items. So items in this case is the hours spent playing video games. So the total time spent playing video games we'll get from summing up the midpoint times frequency column. And if you do that, so you add all those values together, you get a value of 442 hours in total. And if we sum up the frequency column, that'll give us the total number of people, and that is a value of 57. So the mean we get from dividing the total number of hours spent playing video games by the number of people. So therefore the mean is 442 divided by 57, and that is a value of 7.75 hours. So this is only an estimate for the mean, and the reason for that is because we've used the midpoint of each class. Now it could be that all the values in this class fall right at the end. So it could be that everyone who spent between 0 and 4 hours playing video games actually just spent 4 hours. So we don't know exactly how much time was spent per person in each class, so therefore the mean is only an estimate because we've used the midpoints. So let's take a look at a second example now. So the group frequency table on the right shows data on the weights of 117 cats. Calculate an estimate for the mean weight of the cats. So as usual, the first thing we have to do is add our 2 extra columns. Okay, so the first one again is going to be the midpoint column, so we'll call it M for short, and the next one is going to be the frequency times the midpoint. So if we go through each of the weight classes and find the midpoint, the first one is 2.5, the next one is 3.25, and then it's 3.75, 4.25 and 5.25. Now if we go through and fill out our frequency times midpoint column, so that's 22 times 2.5 for the first one, that's 55, and then if we do the same and fill out the rest of the rows, we get 45.5, 146.25, 123.25 and 68.25. And then following the same method as before, let's total up the frequency and the frequency times midpoint columns. So the total of the frequency column is 117, and the total of the frequency times midpoint column is 438.25. And then finally, our estimate for the mean. Well, that is given by the sum of all the values divided by the number of the values. So in this case, the mean is 438.25 divided by 117, and if you do that calculation you should get 3.7 kg, so kilos, and that's to 1 decimal place. If you're feeling good on this topic and you want to get some practice in with some exam style questions, you can do so with our Estimating the Mean online exam. It's available through our revision platform, and if you take the test you'll find loads of different questions to have a go at, all of which you'll receive instant feedback on, allowing you to quickly track where you need to improve. So if you're interested and you want to take the exam, then you can click the link below and it will take you straight there.